The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sciforror Film Podcast. It's very nice to be here with you again. I am Andy Walker and I am here with my son Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Oh,
Still a little bit warm, but I'm okay.
yeah, it's been a bit of an odd few days. It's been very humid.
Seems to be really weird as well. It's okay during the day, and then at night when you think it's going to be colder, it seems to be getting warmer.
Yeah, it's a
Very
funny
bizarre.
old life. No, not really. Right, anyway, so this week we are doing two short films and a not so short film,
Yeah.
or even a longer one, a feature type film. Feature film. Feature. So anyway, yeah, I'm talking about. Okay, let's start at the beginning. The first film is a short science fiction film from, well, according to my notes, it's from 2022. So 2022, I think that may well be. And it's called Attached. It's done by Film Platter. I don't really have any notes about who's in it or anything.
No.
Because on YouTube, there isn't a cast list or anything like that. The synopsis says, something has attached itself to Holly. Something is in her mind. Something is seeking the truth. And all that. So, what do you think?
I actually really like this one.
Yeah.
It was very weird to watch, and it was weird with the camera angles, and it was halfway through when something happens, you sort of realise why it's done like that. But
Yeah.
I thought that the way that the angles they had on the cameras and the sort of shots they were getting were very, very well done. I love the effects on it as well.
Yeah.
The girl's act, or the woman's acting in it was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very interesting sort of story idea, but it's another one of those films that really annoys me because it's like I want to know what happens next.
Yeah, well, the way that, as well, the way that it sort of it's the way that it sort of runs as well. The sort of the title coming up at the end,
Yeah,
it's and the fact that it says on it like sort of to be continued and stuff like that. I think it could be sort of used as, you know, like you see when you see films, you see the sort of the little bit at the beginning, and then it goes into the title sequence and then carries on. I
yeah,
think that is a very good way that it could be sort of done.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was saying I really like this film.
No,
The
I
sort
agree.
of what I liked about the effects as well was that they're very subtle in certain places. It wasn't in your face with it.
Yeah. Oh, I think the effects I think were really good. And as you say, her acting was really good. I think it works really well. It's an interesting story, and it's kind of like, as I say, it just leaves you thinking, what's going on and what happens
Yeah,
next? Where is she? What's going on? You know, I like that I like it a lot.
it's another one as well. There's hard. I think there's probably only possibly 4 or 5 lines of speech that's actually
Yeah,
said the whole way through it, and I think that adds to it as well because of the fact it just sort of it draws you into a lot more, like wondering what's going on and sort of the whole mystery behind it.
yeah, definitely. No, yeah, I really like it. It's a really good film, really well done.
Mm.
The second film is another science fiction film from 2020. I think this is pronounced Laniakea. 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 Do you reckon that's that? I think
Not
it might be
100% sure.
Laniakea. So yes, from 2020. Uh, it's by Dima Taran. It's an animated film that apparently is part one of I don't know if it's a proposed series or just two parts that are supposed to be seen together or seen one after the other. Anyway, the synopsis says, in the future, superluminal superluminal speeds allow for travel to any point in the universe. People are hoping to find extraterrestrial life, but as of yet, no one has. One day, a lonely man finds a message in a monolith that has been drifting in space. It helps him to find a portal that leads to the home planet of those who made it. He finds a giant structure, a building, but this place is breathing on its own. Where has everyone gone? Din, din, din. I think the animation on this is really good. It's really well done. It's really great animation, and it's an interesting story and idea, but it just kind of seems to be lacking something for me. There's something not quite. It didn't really grip me. There was something missing. Something.
Yeah.
Maybe if you watch the second part as well, it might be better. I don't even know if the second part got made, to be honest.
Well, I don't know because of the fact I did the same thing. I watched this. I was watching it with Amy, and I sat there and I was like, I'm not too sure about this film. It didn't do anything for me. And she
Mm.
looked up some bits for me. Now this is actually done as part of a student project
All
that he was
right.
doing as part of his diploma that he was
Okay.
doing. And he actually says on the site that he put it up on, the fact that his computer that he used was so outdated and the software that he was using, it took him almost, I think, year and a half to
Right.
do it. But it was all done in Ukraine, so I think if he'd done the second part, it's not
Yeah.
able to be put out yet. But
Mm.
yeah, it was all part of his sort of student project, and he actually says that the software that he was using really it shouldn't have been able to be used on the computer he was using now. So it
Well,
was very hard to do. But I sat there afterwards and I was like, okay, yeah, that takes into a little bit of effect, the sort of effect with a lot of the stuff. I think my problem I had with the whole film of it is the speech of the sort of the monologue that the guy was doing. It wasn't what he was saying, but the sort of way he was saying it. It was the way I could just sort of describe it for people listening. It was almost like a William Shatner sort of speech. The way he used to speak, the sort of the way he used to speak in
yeah.
Star Trek. The sort of the
The way
every word, a word and then the gap, and it is
it was delivered a bit oddly. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I agree. But I don't know. There was something in it to me. I just felt it was lacking something. Something wasn't quite there, and it just didn't quite.
Mm,
I would watch the second part to see if it made the first part make a bit more sense and
mm,
feel a bit more complete.
yeah.
But I'm not overly bothered about it, if you know what I
No,
mean.
yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's it's one of the things that I appreciate the fact that I appreciate watching it, and
Mm.
it's a very good idea what's been
And
done, and
and
the
it's
sort of
incredibly well made.
yeah, the animation, because from what Amy showed me and what I've seen, he done a lot of the animation first as like free drawings, so he drew it all himself, and
Right.
then basically, from what I can gather, sort of scanned it in or copied it into the computer and sort of rendered it in that way. So it's all his own
Yeah,
drawing.
yeah, yeah.
So it's the sort of idea and the artwork behind it is very, I think, good. Yeah, I agree with you. There's something sort of missing, and I'm not 100% sure what it is. I can't sort of definitely put my finger on it, but it's just
No,
something.
yeah. But I mean, I definitely think it's worth having a look at because it's a very well made film with very good graphics and if nothing else, I think he's got a great future ahead of him as somebody who's doing animation and graphics, that kind of stuff. But it's really well done. Okay, so on to our long film now. I am not sure what this film is, as in some places I've seen it described as horror, some places I've seen it described as science fiction, and in some places I've just seen it described as weird.
Yeah, I found it when I looked it up as well. It was described as horror thriller, sci-fi thriller, and just horror. So
Yeah, so anyway, this is from 2009 and it's a film called Triangle. Now, this was directed and written by Christopher Smith, who did some shorts and TV stuff in the 90s, 2010s, and the 2020s. He directed Creep in 2004 and wrote it. He was the writer and director of Severance in 2006, writer and director of Black Death in 2010, and writer and director of The Banishing in 2020. So there you go. The cast. Now, the first person on the cast is Melissa George. Some people out there may know that she was in Neighbours for a while. Anyway, she did TV stuff in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. She was in film-wise, she was in Dark City in 1998, Hollyweird in 1998, Lost in Oz 2002, The Amityville Horror in 2005, Turistas in 2006, The Killing Gene in 2007, 30 Days of Night in 2007, and Gothica in 2013. Yeah. We got Joshua McIver was in nothing else.
yeah,
And Jack Taylor was in nothing else. Well, they might have done stuff, but nothing that we were interested in at all. Rachel Carpeney did some TV and some shorts in the 2000s and 2010s and was in a film called Scorched in 2008. We've got Emma Lung, which is a great name, Emma Lung. Did some TV and short work in the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Was in House of Wax in 2005, The Gates of Hell in 2008, and Crush in 2009. We've got Michael Dorman, who did some shorts and TV stuff in the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Was in Acolytes in 2008, Daybreakers in 2009, Needle in 2010, and The Invisible Man in 2020. Now, where am I? I've lost myself. I have lost myself. What am I doing? I've lost it. Oh, there we are. Sorry. It's probably with having a notebook that's too big. Then we have Henry Nixon, who did some TV and short stuff in the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Did Safety in Numbers in 2006, Terminus in 2015, and Little Monsters in 2019. Then we have Liam Hemsworth, less famous brother of the other Hemsworth. Can't remember his name. Chris. Yeah. Did some TV and shorts in the 2020s. He was in Knowing in 2009, Hunger Games 2012, Hunger Games Catching Fire 2013, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 2014, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 2015, and Independence Day Resurgence in 2016. And we have Brian Roberts, who, sorry, try that again. Brian Roberts. Did some TV shorts in 2010s. He was in Daybreakers in 2009, Bloody Hell in 2020, Sweet River in 2020, and there's a film that he's done called Space Time, which is in post-production at the moment. So I don't know when that's coming out. So that's the cast. The synopsis says 5 friends set sail and their yacht is overturned by a strange and sudden storm. A mysterious ship arrives to rescue them, and what happens next cannot be explained.
Mm.
First thing I would say about this is that the YouTube version that I found for us to watch is not the greatest quality,
No.
which is a pity because it takes away a little bit from the film. But there you go. I'd like to know what you think about this film because I really like this.
I don't know. I'm in two minds about it. I do like it. I'm a bit. I don't know. It was some. I sort of clocked at the end. At the end, bits that I should have clocked at the beginning.
Yeah,
Well, at least about sort of say about 10, 15 minutes into it, I should have clocked. Um, which then sort of made it a bit more sense for what was going on.
yeah,
Um, it did get a bit confusing for me at certain points because I was like trying to figure out what loop she was in and what loop she was following.
yeah,
Um, but again, I don't know. I did. I It's weird. It's I don't know. It's just the part. Again, this is the problem. Part of my head is sort of trying to make sense of it all and trying to sort of sort of rationalize it all. But then there's a bigger part of my head that's like just enjoy it.
yeah.
And
There
but
you
I
go.
did again. I did like this film. It's very well done.
Oh, it is. I mean,
It's
my big thing with this is I can't imagine trying to write this,
no,
trying to keep track of what the hell was going on.
yeah,
I mean,
trying to write it, trying to. So there's films like this that I feel sorry for the cast because obviously trying to learn the script and what's going on is
it's
sort of a bit of a weird one. And then also trying to shoot it as well because it's
yeah,
all over the place. And there's certain bits for me that were weird because they were highlighting moments which oh, that's going to be sort of maybe significant part, or you've got to keep an eye out for it later on. And
yeah.
parts of it weren't.
They weren't as important as you thought
Yeah,
they
they weren't
were.
as important as what they seemed to be, and it was like okay, and it is very weird. I
I
don't know. It's just I do really like it though.
Yeah, I love this film. I really do. It's one of my favourite films. Um, I, s- I said to you before, I first saw it about 2 o'clock in the morning. One night I came home, turned the telly on, and it was there. It had
Yeah,
just started. At the time, I didn't even know what it was called because I'd missed the introduction to it. One of the things I love about it is the way it changes. It starts off, I thought, when I first started watching it, I thought, oh, we've got sort of an adventure film or something type thing. And then I thought, oh no, it's a ghost movie. There's a ghost ship that's appeared out
yeah,
there, mystical storm, ghost ship, and that sort of thing. Then it turns into like a slasher movie. And then it goes into this weird sci-fi horror kind of bizarreness. And you
mm.
kind of let sitting there going, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. I sort of I found myself at the beginning sort of trying to force myself to focus on it because it was sort of I'm like okay, this is I've seen these types of films before. Did the same thing. I thought it's like
Yeah.
it's gonna be like Ghost Ship, or it's sort of this gonna be boring. And then it's sort of about halfway through when things started going a bit weird. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I just sat there for eight, and I felt really bad because I was saying I was sitting upstairs watching it while Amy was doing other bits, and I sat there and I had to. She sort of tapped me, and I had to pause the film, and I went, "What?" She went, "You know, I've been talking to you for the last 20 minutes." I was so focused on what was going on because
Yeah.
it was just such a bizarre film. I
It
had no idea what she was talking
the thing about it is, I think the effects on it are incredible.
about.
I mean, some of them are just amazing at how they managed to do the things that they
Yeah,
do in it, and
it,
and the acting as well. It's you
yeah,
know
it's
quite
a
incredible.
lot of it is very well done. I liked as well the scene when you sort of think that she's able to almost break the loop of what's going on, and
Yeah,
then when she helps her friend, finds a friend
yeah,
crawling away, and I thought, yeah, you're finally breaking the loop, and then they sort of pan the camera around a little bit, and there's piles of the bodies,
yeah,
and I was like, and that's when it started throwing me. I was like, okay, this is weird.
yeah. How many times has this happened?
Yeah,
What's going on?
especially when you start seeing like parts of it when she leans down and sees her locket in the drain, and it's just like, how many times has this gone on?
Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
was so bizarre. And then I love the sort of the way that you at the near when it comes to the end, you're sort of thinking, oh, she's finally broken it. It's finally got away from
Yeah,
like the finally been able to sort of break that and get back to what she was doing. And then the bits that are happening, I was like, hang on a minute.
yeah,
And you sort of that's when you start twigging what's going on. And I think
yeah.
the sound is so well done.
It's brilliant. It's kind of, I would say this is really my type of film. I really love this sort of film. The other thing about it is, um, it's kind of weird, but one of the things I love in it is all the way through, right from the beginning, if you watch carefully, it tells you the
Mm.
fact that there's multiple things going on,
Yeah,
because the amount of times that there are views, there are shots of her standing in front of a mirror, standing in a room where there's three different mirrors,
yeah.
all showing a slightly different view of her. And you kind of like, I love that kind of sort of thing that's really giving you massive hints of what the hell's going on, but you don't notice until later on.
Well, what's said about the biggest hint in it is when they're talking about the name of the ship that they go on,
Yeah,
and when one of the characters says about the fact that it's was it is it Greek she said or something
yeah,
about the mythology about the fact that it's someone tried tricking death and
yeah.
and
He
it's
was.
sort of it's sort of I sat there like, oh, okay, maybe this is sort of something to do with that, and it's only when you get near the end you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you start twigging little bits
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
and it's you sort of sit there at the end of it and go, oh, okay, yeah, you can see that that bit, and that bit add up to get to here, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
think the same. I do agree with you. Writing this must have been such a pain.
I think the guy must have incredible head, incredible mind.
Yeah,
There's, and it's one of those films. It's a bit weird. It's like there are a few films I would say I'd be quite happy to watch whenever they come on TV, if ever they come on TV. Die Hard's one of them. I'll just quite happily sit and watch that for 3 million times a year. But this is another one. I would happily watch this anytime it comes on.
but the thing is, I agree. It's weird for me because this isn't my normal type of film I would go out of my way to watch.
No,
It's sort of it's not one that if I'd read the synopsis to it, probably I would have gone, all right, whatever, I'll find something else.
yeah.
I'm really glad that I did watch it because again, this is another film that I would quite happily go back and watch again.
It's weird though, because the fact is you think to yourself, I shouldn't want to watch this again because now I know what
Yeah,
the mystery is, if you like. But you find yourself sort of like, I mean, having watched this, I've now watched this 4 times, this film, and and having watched it, when you watch it again, it's still as much as enjoyable. And the good thing about it is that by the end of it, right at the end of it, it's still going on.
yeah.
So you don't actually come to an end.
No. Well, this is the thing is that I sat there and I thought to myself the same thing when I finished watching it. I was like, and again, I normally sit there and I'm like, okay, it's done, fine. I might come about to watching it sort of a couple of months time when I've forgotten it or whatever.
Mm.
But I sat there afterwards. I'm like, I really want to watch that again now, just to go back and watch and
Yeah,
see if because there's moments obviously when she's peering around the corners of things.
yeah,
I want to be able to go back and watch and see if you can see her looking or
yeah,
seeing bits that's going on and seeing and I don't know, I really want to I really wouldn't mind watching it again actually.
yeah. No, I agree. I love it. I think it's a great film. It's really bizarre because it's kind of not that well known a film, I don't
No.
think. But it's I don't think I can't find anything to fault this film.
It's really weird for me though, because of the fact that I sat there and normally when it comes to horror films and stuff like that, I've normally got one up on Amy. I can sort of sit and talk to her about it. I sat there and I said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna watch this." She said, "Oh sweet, I've already watched that film." I'm like, "Oh, how have I not known about this film then?" I sat there like, because I sat there and I thought to myself, I don't know anything about this film.
No,
I've never heard of it, never seen like, and I'm like, and then when Amy said to me, "Oh, I've already watched it," I'm like, "How have I never known about this film?"
it is one of those strange kind of films that I think a few people know of it, but most people kind of like, as you say, there's a good chance that they've looked at that and gone, "Oh, it's a usual sort of
Yeah,
ghost ship type thing." Maybe it's the other thing is the fact that because it's called Triangle, and it's about them being in a storm turning over and the mysterious ship arriving. I was saying a lot of people think, oh, it's a Bermuda Triangle story,
yeah,
and
I've got to admit, I did.
because
I did.
the reason it's called Triangle is because that's the name of the yacht they're in.
Yeah. Well, that's the things. I sat there and I thought the exact same thing. I thought to myself, "Oh, it's about the Bermuda Triangle. This is going to be another one of mystery, and there's going to be
Yeah,
so much. There's going to be loads of stuff in it." And then it's only when he says about the fact that the boat's called Triangle, but oh, okay, it's not then, and it was really bizarre
yeah.
because it sort of threw me completely.
No, I agree. I think it's great. I love this film. I would recommend it to anybody to watch because I just think it's an experience to watch it. Even if you watch it and then say, actually, I didn't like it, I think it's an experience just to watch it because of the
Yeah,
fact that it's one of those films that is really, really clever the way it's
yeah.
put together. Really worth a watch. Okay, well there you go. You've got two short films which were not bad. Well, the first one was good. Second one was not bad but okay, and then Triangle, which I think is excellent, and we would recommend for you to watch. Da-da-da. But if you have a separate opinion, different opinion, other opinion, opinion, a rack opinion, a opinion, ponion, penion. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I'm going completely doolally. Anyway, that's it. That's it from us tonight. Good evening and welcome to the show. No, hang on, that's the end. Oh, anyway, thank you, Scott, for taking part in this bizarre, whatever it is, the name drivel at the end.
It's all right. I'm glad I can be part of it, I suppose.
Okay, well, I'm glad you could be part of it because otherwise I'd just be sitting here talking to myself.
Do that enough as it is.
Yeah, I know. Let's not get down that road. So yeah, next week we will be back with more of the same, but different.
Yeah.
Some more things that are different and different will be the films we're doing will be different. Well, they'll be different to these ones. And something else. Anyway, so yes, thank you very much for anybody that's tuned in and listened and dropped out and fallen through and followed through even. No, you don't want to do that.
No.
And we will be back next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.